how can we help our young people build the self-trust to be consistent in their creativity, in their communication, in their innovation, in their healing, in their growth? How do we help kids to do this? One of the most efficient ways and one of the most actionable ways to do this is to help kids follow through. We cannot talk about self-trust without helping kids learn how to follow through with the small things. Now I'm going to cross the street here, so I'm looking, okay? This is huge. This is huge because so many of us want to be great and we want to be seen on stage. Now there are some of us who don't. We prefer the background. But for those of us who want to be seen, who want to be acknowledged, who want to be recognized, we want to be recognized in that big moment for that big thing. But are you doing the little things every day to help you get to that place and be in that place and bring somebody to that place in their lives? So in this video, I want to share with you some actionable ways that we can help our young people get to this space. Because when I tell you that one of the best ways to build self-trust is to follow through, make the phone call. Don't just send an email, but call them if it needs to be done. Write a letter instead of sending a text message. If you always send text messages and you want to switch it up a little bit, send a postcard. How sweet would that be? Print out some of those photos on your phone and hang them up on the wall. Get them off of your phone and onto the wall. These are the little things that we can do. Acknowledging one another when we walk into the room. Acknowledging. Looking up and speaking. I work at a school and I make it a point to greet all of the families that walk into the room, and I do that with a hug. And if I'm not close enough to them in that moment, because I may be with the kids, or if they're not a hugger, I lift up my voice and greet them, and I greet them with love. Some of our children are not able to greet people like they're present because they are not required to do that. So when we talk about helping kids to build the follow through, we want to help them with their posture, their enunciation of words, and following through with the action items of the conversation. So if you say you're going to do something, do it. That's how you build follow through. It's that simple. But there are some things that we're making impossible for our kids as far as examples are concerned, and examples that are right in front of them because us adults are not doing them. So put your phone down, lift your face up, and greet people. See, the dogs are greeting me. I'm not going to show you them because that's an invasion of privacy, but they're greeting me, okay? And this is the thing I want to touch on. We all have a need to be recognized. We all have a need to be acknowledged. But we want to help our young people learn how to acknowledge themselves once we've given them a certain level of recognition. Now, I'm not saying stop recognizing that 9-year-old, stop recognizing that 12-year-old, because those are very critical years. We can't just give all the love to the young children, and then once they're prepubescent or they're in puberty, then we just don't have time for them because we're so annoyed by their behavior. We can't do that. We've got to be consistent in recognizing and acknowledging them because our voices become part of their background music when they are by themselves. Okay? And this is all in the research. This is all in the research. I'm not saying anything new. I'm putting it into context when we talk about helping our tweens and teens build trust. How do you build trust in 20 minutes? Do what you said you're going to do. And do it consistently across 14 days. And then pay attention to how you feel as you're following through. I'm seeing this topic of you got to trust yourself. You got to trust yourself. I learned to trust myself when I started doing what I said I was going to do. And when I started being honest with myself. So that's my second point after 5 points. Be honest with yourself. And the thing is, adults, we can't expect our kids, our students to be honest with us if we don't welcome their honesty. Okay? Now, you can set some conditions. You can say, hey, this is a radical honesty time. The only thing that matters is your tone. Hey, that's a good one. The only thing that matters is your tone. So bring your volume down and watch your tone, but you can be honest with me about anything. And even when we say bring your volume down and watch your tone, that's not about controlling kids. That's about teaching them respect, because you're going to do, ideally, that for them. You're going to lower your voice, and instead of yelling at them from across the room, you're going to walk over to them and say, Sonny, la 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 la, okay? So we build self-trust. We help our young people to build self-trust by doing what they said they were going to do, following through, and by being honest. Because the thing is, as Iyanla said, so many of us don't trust ourselves because we lie to ourselves. And that comes down to, the basis of today's video. Be honest about what you can do, because your children learn to lie by watching you. They learn to lie by watching you say you're okay when you're not. You're doing things because no one else is going to do it, so you do it with an attitude. You do it with a grudge. And your children are watching you. And they may resent you for doing that. They may have some contempt against you for doing that, because you don't do things with love. You do things because they have to get done, and if they don't get done, then whatever that narrative is will play out. But I can guarantee you that if you begin to model for your young person respect, self-respect, and if you model self-love, you love yourself. In the name of Jesus, you love yourself in such a way to where you can be honest. You love yourself because you recognize you were loved first. For any Christ-minded person that struggles with self-love, because the Bible doesn't teach love yourself, but the Bible says love your neighbor as yourself. It's like, okay, so we have to rewind and dig into that. Well, if you can't love yourself simply off the base of you feel good about yourself, which most of us can't do, because if we haven't been programmed that way, you can say, well, you know what? I apply the love of God to me. That's something I had to do. I started doing that about a decade ago, and I began to rewire my mind to where I could be here present with you today. So we're building trust. We're building trust. We build trust by doing what we say we're going to do. Do it with love, not with a grudge. Okay? And if you can't do it, communicate that to your child. If you don't want to do it, communicate that to your child. Because at the end of the day, everything comes down to communication, verbal and nonverbal. And your child is learning how to communicate by watching you. Even if they say, I'm not going to be like you, I'm going to do it this way, you're setting an example for them that they don't want to follow. So try to set an example that they could consider following. Okay? And some kids, they just want to be their own person. They don't care about an example. I don't work with those children. Okay? For those who want to learn and grow, those are the ones I'm referring to. Now, I hope that you've gotten something out of this video. The top 3 points to helping young people build self-trust is to follow through. Okay? Recognize, acknowledge when they follow through. Wow, you did what you said you're going to do. I'm so proud of you. You're being responsible. I can trust you. Kids, most kids want the trust of their parents. It's the most important thing to them. And they don't want to disappoint their parents. They rather, have something else happen than be a disappointment to their parents. So, in my view, why not use that level of respect? Notice how I'm saying this. Why not use that level of respect as a point of connecting and strengthening your child's ability to be responsible? Because if you say, well, I'm going to use that so they fear me, then they'll respect me. No, they're going to fear you. It may look like respect, but it's compliance. And when they get tired of dealing with you, they won't deal with you anymore. They'll be 20-something and not interested in connecting, or 30-something and not interested in connecting. I know. Okay, we've all seen this. Okay, so I hope that you're able to apply something that you heard in today's video. And I want to know from you, what will you help a young person learn how to follow up in doing? What can you help them learn how to follow up in doing? Or what do you want to teach them how to follow up in doing? Okay? An example is, I want to teach them how to I want to show them with my example that I will wash dishes and put them away. In the household I grew up in, or the households I grew up in, the garbage wasn't completed. It wasn't taken out until you put a bag in the garbage can. And I still practice that today unless I'm absolutely on the go. But I make sure that I put a bag in the garbage can. Another one is, in the households I grew up in, you didn't vacuum the floor out of the way unless you would move. If there's a hamper, you move the hamper and vacuum where the hamper was. Okay, we didn't have to move the couch. But if there was a suitcase, a bag, no, we didn't have any floor plans, but we would move those things that we could move to make sure we were following through. That's what our kids are missing. Not all of them, but too many of them are missing that follow through, which is why they don't have the trust in themselves, because they don't even know they can do something. Okay, I bless you. I want the best for you, and I'll see you again soon.